Now I want to change gears and get away from competitive markets where there's innumerable buyers and sellers, and I want to talk about a special case where there's only one seller, which is the story of monopoly. Basically what we do is we take a spectrum of competitiveness and we ask about two hypothetical markets. There's at one extreme is pure, sometimes called perfect competition, which is what we describe using supply and demand. At the opposite extreme is monopoly, which is the complete absence of competition. So here we've got, thousands or millions of people selling the exact same thing. Imagine bags of rice, bags of nails, something that's a true commodity with a number of different suppliers. Here we've got one seller, and the dynamics are very different. The ultimate stable outcomes are different. The profitability is different. And so what we do is we look at these two extreme cases, and then we acknowledge that most things fall somewhere in between, but by understanding what life would be like in the most severe, brutal form of competition, and what life would be like in the most pure sense of absence of competition, we can kind of understand a lot of the 99% of the world that takes place in between these two extremes. With monopoly, things are a little bit different for a number of reasons. Essential point of monopoly is this idea that if I want to sell more in a world where there's a billion other farmers and they're all just like me, then I don't really matter. I don't affect the price in that sense. I mean, I matter as a philosophical sense. But as far as the market is concerned, I could retire or double my production. It doesn't impact at all the market price. When it comes to monopoly, I'm the whole market. So if I decide to change anything, it's going to be noticed by everyone. If you take the demand curve for any monopoly product, if you can't get your head around monopoly, think about the price of beer on an airplane on a domestic U.S. flight. It costs $6. Right? If you go to the grocery store, it costs 25 cents for the same exact can of beer. The reason is that when you're on the ground, there's 1,000 other grocery stores, but when you're at 30,000 feet, there's only one seller, monopoly. If I want to sell one more, the question is, what is it worth to me, and what does it cost me? And the key word that you'll learn about in economics class is marginal. Marginal basically refers to the rate of change. You can think of it as one more, if you like. So when I sell one more, how much does my revenue change? That's called my marginal revenue. If I make one more, how much does my revenue change? That's called your marginal cost. Sorry, how much do my costs change? It's called your marginal cost. The rate at which my revenue, my cost, my happiness is changing as usually quantity consumed or produced changes is called the marginal cost, the marginal benefit, the marginal revenue. It's a useful phrase, and you see it over and over again in economics class. If this is my demand curve, then I might want to ask if I sell one more, is it worth it? Is it worth the extra cost of one more? So the trick for monopoly is to note that if I sell one more, let's say I'm selling 15, I'd like to sell 16. What do I need to do to sell 16? Looks like I need to lower the price. If I lower the price from $9 down to $8.50, I'm going to be able to sell one more. So imagine this is how much, think of it as a rate of sale. And also think about everyone gets the same price. It's not like Chatuchak market where everyone pays a different price. For now, keep it simple. There's a price, and it's not like I'm lowering the price just for that 16th person. but I'm thinking about lowering the price on my menu so that tomorrow and the next day and the next day everyone pays $8.50. You can talk about charging different prices to different people in economics class, also in marketing and strategy class, and it's a very well-known approach. But for now, just to keep it simple, we'll talk about a uniform price. Everyone is treated the same. The question is, well, what do I get when I sell that 16th beer or movie ticket? Well, if I sell one more, I get extra revenue. I get an extra $8.50. So that's what I get right here. That's plus. That's the extra revenue from that incremental sale. There's a problem though, which is that now instead of getting $9 on every one that I sell, I only get $8.50. So I had to lower the price by 50 cents on the 15 that I could have been selling for $9. So 50 cents times 15, that's a loss of $7.50. So the value to me of selling that 16th one is actually just a combination of these, which is $1. I get an extra $1 worth of revenue as I go from 15 to 16. At first you tend to think I get an extra $8.50, which is true, but it's only half true. I'm also diluting things by charging 50 cents less on the 15 that I could have been selling at a higher price at $9. So these two combine. Sometimes you talk about it as the market dilution of your price or the stimulation of demand. You might call it the output effect or the price effect. It depends on whether you're in marketing class or economics class. But the idea is the same. The change in my revenue can be disaggregated into these two different parts. But the marginal revenue is their combination. If you take marginal revenue, it's going to change at different points along the curve. So sometimes you can actually graph it. Looks like this. There'll be a line that's steeper than the demand curve. It'll always be below the demand because you get the price, but you have to then dilute your previous sales by a certain amount. So marginal revenue is here, and if you wanted to find where a monopolist is profit maximizing, that is, where does a monopolist make as much money as possible? What quantity? Profit. You can think of it in a number of different ways. Let me just first of all talk